Hello once again and welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019. Project Slipstream, we are riding the Pro Cyclist mode with our 19-year-old Neo-Pro Max Venturi, who's having a pretty torrid time of things. Not had a good couple of races, the manager's still pretty happy with him, he's at level 3, but he is really struggling out there on the bike. He really needs a little bit more resistance and more stamina. He's bonking really early in the stages. Let's get going in this next stage though. To be honest, I can't even remember where we're up to. Let's jump along and see what we get. Advancing the days along. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm cheating a little bit. I'm recording this well in advance because I travel a little bit for work and I'm not available for a little bit. So I'm recording this one in advance so there's stuff going up on to YouTube. So here we are. We are riding in stage 3 of Tour Cyclist Ep06. 3 category 1 climbs, bit of a loop to this one. Rated at 67. It's not going to be a very nice ride for us this time through. I don't think it's going to be a case of try and hold on. So let's hit the button and jump straight into the race. Okay, here we go. Time to start this one off. Have we been here before? It looks like we've been here before. So let's just pause this, have a look at our objective. We want to take the breakaway and get 110 kilometers. I don't think that's really going to happen. Not with this stage, not the way we're ramping straight up. I'm pretty sure we've done this stage before. We have. It was in the previous tour, of course, wasn't it? We did spot that one a couple of episodes back. Okay, so they want us out in the breakaway. How are we doing here? We're not being penalised today, at least, which is a good thing. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Kevin Hebert wants some protection. Let's do a bit of that then, rather than paying attention to team orders. So nice uphill start here. Let's roll through this one and see what happens in the early stages. So we've just come back down off the second lot of climbs. We've just hit the bottom of the second little descent on our map here, just this one here. And the breakaway is 7.5 minutes up the road now. That's in from just over 10 minutes at points. So we're starting to reel. I mean, we're not looking in too bad a shape here. We've still got plenty of energy left. We're just sitting in the group protecting Hebert. Today, that's our job. We've been asked to ride on the front in the breakaway, but that's just going to be too much for young Max Venturi. So we're sitting in the group, which is starting to accelerate and slow down almost randomly now. But we're sitting there. We're looking pretty good. We've got about 80 Ks still to go. The chase is on the 6-man escape group. Looks as though, well, it's looking pretty good at this point. We're going to have to really start ramping the pace up, and at this stage, it just doesn't look like that's happening. So we'll see what happens. I suspect the escape group might just win it today. Well, the chase is well and truly on now. The group, they were down to about 6 minutes or thereabouts. They got back out to more than 7. The peloton started chasing once again as we go up this last little climb. I suspect we're going to get popped off the back here a little bit. I've had to up the effort to 90. We are just holding our own in the peloton. We have dropped a fair way back. We're now down towards the very back of the peloton. Back here is the back of the peloton. So we're hanging on by our fingernails at the moment. And Hebert is calling us up to the front to relay at the front of the group. So let's see if we can move our way forward down this descent, pick up a little bit of energy as we do it. It's a nice steep descent, so hopefully we'll be able to recover a little bit while we make our way forward. It's a bit nauseous the way the camera's swinging around like this. I've zoomed it out a little bit so we can see a bit more. I was zoomed in for the first few races, but I think being zoomed out is better. It's Max Venturi makes his way up this long line of riders. You can tell we're moving because it's a long, skinny line rather than a wad of riders across the road. So moving forward, we're burning a fair bit of energy. We're using a fair old click out of our heart rate. We've got 37 kilometers to go. We're going to jump on the front here and see if we can help chase this breakaway down. We've got 5 and a bit minutes, under 40 kilometers. It's going to be tough. We've got to really bury ourselves now and see what we can do. It's more or less flat to the finish. There is a little lump that we're about to hit. One little steep section. There's about 6% there, maybe even 8% towards the very top when we get to it, but at the moment it's just a bit of a drag on the way up. We are burning our energy pretty quickly though. Let's just drop that back down to about 85 and see if we can sustain it there. We're back down to 4.5 minutes now, so this is good. We're closing in on the breakaway group of 6 riders pretty quickly now, which is what we really needed to do. What we're trying to do at this point is get our team into a good spot. I've been told just stay tucked in for the moment, so we will do that because we've used a lot of our energy. We need to try and recover a little bit. We've got a climb coming in the not too distant future, so let's try and recover a little bit of our red bar. We're not going to get an opportunity, so we're probably going to get dropped as we get to this one. It's a reasonably short climb, but even still, the pace is so high that with no energy left, we're just going to throw out the old anchor and away we go. Just get to the top and be able to recover a little bit on the descent. There is another little kick to come. It's more lumpy than a kick, really. Let's see if we can make our way back up towards front, recover some of our yellow bar as well. So I've asked to try and chase that one back. The peloton has split just a little bit. I just don't have anything left to chase with. We're doing our best, but managed to bring that one back. Now we just need to try and stay tucked in, do what we can. We've got 20 kilometers left there. They're riding super hard to try and catch this breakaway group. They're still 2.5 minutes up the road, and we are really struggling now. We're going to get dropped in no time, you would think. We're just riding too hard for poor Max Venturi to live with. He's got over the 3 Category 1 climbs, but just as always, the resistance that he has just isn't up to the job. So he's now been popped off the back of the peloton. Just dropped his energy level or his effort level back down. Just do what he can to get to the finish now. Nothing to be gained, so we'll spin this one on and see how we end up in the finals. Actually, we've rejoined the peloton, so they've slowed down as well. Where's there wants us to protect him. We'll do what we can. I don't imagine that we'll have any hope of really doing that. We're doing our best, but it's going to be a bridge too far unless they really slow down. Breakaway group still 2.5 minutes up the road, so with 10 kilometers left, you would suggest that they've probably got that, unless they start squabbling over this solo breakaway rider. up the road from them. This piece of elastic stretches and contracts. It's stretching once again as they accelerate. Less than 10 kilometers left to go in this one. I'm up on Hiver's wheel. A little bit of energy left, but we are still 2.5 minutes behind the breakaway group, so that is going to absolutely succeed. We get to about 5 kilometers to go. We're going to pop that energy gel. We're having to ride so hard. We've got nothing left to give. Bonifazio rather wants us to help him. We'll pop that gel now. Hopefully that will take effect pretty quickly and be able to help us in the last kilometers here. I don't imagine we'll have anything left to sprint with. We're doing our best just to hang on in the peloton. There the gel goes. We've still got nothing left. Let's bump our energy, our effort up rather, to 80. We're just hanging on now. Even still, we're slipping out the back. Let's jump that up to 85. We're just going to hold on to the back of the peloton here. I've actually probably used that gel a little bit too early. Let's have a sprint. Why not? There we go. Got popped off the back of the peloton at the very end. So we finish in a couple of groups back from the main field. But a good day's work. We served our team leaders well. Let's spin this on and see how the results shape up. Cool, there we go. So 12th and 13th for Bonifazzi and Hiver in that one. How's the team doing? Up into 9th, not too bad. Hiver in 9th place as well, and 11th, and no one in 9th classification, and no one in the young riders classification. So not a terrible day's job. Didn't get any points at all. None in the breakaway, no progression points, no manager satisfaction. Another wasted day out on the bike. Right then, let's jump straight into the next one, shall we? Normally we try and do one stage per video. Let's make this a double episode. Let's dive straight into the next stage, the final stage of this tour. So here we go. This one's going to be lumpy. I dare say will get us to ride in the breakaway again, in which case let's do that nice and early. Let's jump straight into the action once again. Okay, here we go. Lining up once again behind that mighty Skoda. Let's have a look at what are our objectives for the day. Work at the head of the group for 25 kilometers with at least one teammate in the group. Alright, well that's nice and easy. Let's just set that to relay early on and get that one chalked up before we get anywhere near these categorized climbs at the back end of the stage, because I think when we get to that stage it's going to be far too late for us. So let's jump into this nice and early on. And Hiver wants some support, but bad luck. Straight into service at the front we go. Make sure we're ticking off those kilometers. We are beautiful stuff. That's what we like to see. The breakaway's getting away. That's okay. Don't care about that. We just need to ride at the head of the peloton. I think we're riding probably a little bit too hard here. Let's drop that back to 60. Oh, they've picked it back up. Alright then, fine. 65 it is. Oh, well, this is a bit awkward. Turgis is now riding across into the breakaway. Now, I can't really ride at the front of the race if we've got a rider in the breakaway, although, interestingly, they are chasing Turgis, so may not matter too much. He's sort of in a bit of no man's land at the moment. 30 seconds from the peloton, 30 seconds off the back of the group. So I'm just going to carry on riding here. Not at the very front of the race, so that's okay. So Jonathan Hiver wants me to protect him. Well, can't really ride in the brake, so let's go and do that. Right after the break. I mean, how many riders are there? Must be a few up the road. Where are we here? We've got 8 in the first group, then 1 just off the back. There we go, 9 on the first group. So we've got 12 riders up the road. We are represented in that group by Turgis. So we go. The 12 rider group has come together. So we've got a rider in that group. So there's not a lot of point in riding after it ourselves. So we'll just sit in the group in servitude of Hiver. So let's spin this on and see how this race unfolds. Okay, so I've just slowed this down because I think it's time that we jumped on the front, otherwise we're at risk of not completing our objective. I'm just going to use the dot tool here to get him up to the front, and then we'll just ride on a little bit. Hopefully everyone will come over and join us. Fabulous, that's the way we like. I'm just going to drop the effort down a little bit. Just try and... Not so much interested in chasing this breakaway because obviously we've got a rider in it, but just holding it stationary at about 2.5 minutes is good enough for me. In fact, they're getting away a little bit, which is okay. But Ebbing and flowing just a touch. So this is going to help us with our objective. We're about 1/3 of the way through that now, which is good. Just continuing to just put on this gap, really not changing. That's what we like to see. Just trying to basically get us to the foot of this climb, and that should be just about where we need it in terms of this. So it's about 15 kilometers we need, and that is about 15 kilometers away. So we just need to keep working at the front of the group until then. And then with any luck, that will be objective done. Which will be good, because we haven't done one for a little while. The manager must be getting a bit sick of us. So, a couple of guys here just moving to the front, sort of half attacks just to try and lift the pace. Still just got that dot cursor going, not too bothered about what they're doing. Still chalking up the kilometers. We're not. Need to make this just a little bit heavier then. The group has accelerated just a little bit. We're burning off a bit of energy, but that's okay. Ultimately, it's all about reaching our objectives. Still only 11:25, so okay, now we're at the head of the group, I think. Are we? Maybe? No. Every time to infinite relay. There we go. Now we're back at the front of the race, but we're at the front of the race at the time when it's about to turn skyward, unfortunately. So we're halfway through our objective, but this is where the pain begins for Max Venturi. So it's nice and flat for a kilometre or two here, and then it heads up the hill. It's about a 4 kilometre climb, 4.5 kilometre climb. We're just not equipped for this, so let's just sit in hold station where we can up this one. It's going to be about 6% throughout much of this. So we're just going to try and hold position in this peloton and then see if perhaps on the way down we can pick up a few more sneaky kilometers towards our objective. The group's riding reasonably hard, still 2.5 minutes or just over to the escape group, so let's see what we can do here. Got one rider who's gone off the front here, no, reeled back in. Not doing too badly here, we're using a bit of energy, but we're not too far away from the top of this, so with any luck we'll just sort of limit the use of that yellow bar. Get to the top okay, and then we can recover a little bit. There's some good reasonably flat sections coming up, and some nice descents as well. Got that category 3 not too far away, but hopefully we'll have recovered a little bit by then. We're now starting to chew through our red bar. That's okay, we've got to the top, so hopefully that'll now start to replenish. We'll get that yellow bar starting to slowly recover as well. Still is a bit of an uphill drag at this point, so somewhere between 1 and 2%. Really need to get over this little lump and then hit that downhill so we can recover. We're about to pop. Our resistance even at 80 is not good, and pop goes the weasel. Hoist that white flag. We are now going to drop like a stone, I imagine, through the back end of this peloton. They're riding pretty hard at the front there, just trying to keep that breakaway group in check. We are now over the top of that little lump, just at the top of the category 2. It sort of finishes the category 2 climb, then went up again, so we're now just on the descent. It's a reasonably short descent, so we'll recover our energy, but I don't think we're going to recover too much of our yellow bar. We're going to hit this category 3 climb, which is going to punish us pretty heavily, I imagine. We'll just do what we can to hold station for the moment. So we're now on the lower slopes of this category 3 climb. Got to manage the gap because it's dangerous for the GC. Well, I'd love to help you out, Jonathan, I really would, but can we just get over this climb? Save your strength, I'll let you know when you're well. Yeah, thanks, mate. The mixed messages are really helpful. Thankfully we've got over that climb. We're still at the front of the bunch. Now we can try and recover a little bit. There's a little bit of time now before the next categorized climb. There is this little lump just before the sprint point, which is going to punish us, but hopefully if we can just stay tucked up in the peloton, we'll recover some energy. Our red bar is full again, so now time to try and recover a little bit of the yellow as best we can. So let's ride on and see where we get to by the time we get to that sprint point. Okay, we've been asked to ride in the relay, which we're trying to do, but not very well. We don't have a whole lot of energy. We're doing what we can. We're technically taking part in this relay, but not really. The breakaway has splintered. The First group, just 10 seconds, just 10 riders in there. As we now head up this little lump, this is going to hurt a lot. Got absolutely nothing left at this point. So if there's even a little bit of an acceleration on the back end here, we are done for, particularly given it goes straight into the Category 2 climb. We're not going to really have a chance to recover. We are thankfully over the sprint point now and onto the descent, so I'll pick up a little bit of the red bar again now with any luck. But we're going to very quickly use that all up once again. We're almost already at the bottom of this descent. Very small false flat in the valley, and then straight back up, straight back into a whole world of pain for Max Venturi. Come back to me, Max, I'm exposed. Alright, well, let's give it a go. We'll try. I don't like your chances there, Jonathan. As we start on the steeper sections, sort of 5-6% of these orange bits somewhere in there. This one's about 5%. Where are we up here? We'll get over this. It does ease a little bit, but I think it's going to ease and it won't matter because we are in all sorts of trouble. Just doing what we can to hang on, and even then it's just a matter of time before we go pop. And in fact, there it goes. The elastic has broken into the caboose we go. There's not going to be any coming back from there, so let's just ease our energy use down, get to the flag in one piece. This gruppetto might just close in with this one ahead. But that looks like another day done for Max Venturi. The gruppetto has combined, so we've got 15 strong in this group now. I don't imagine that we'll come back. In fact, it's already split again. Well, it's all sort of more or less downhill from here, so we should recover a little bit. But even so, I think that's more or less game over for this one. Less than 10 kilometers to go. We'll just get to the finish and see how the team did, because we know how we did. The answer to that, once again, terribly. So there it is, the breakaway stayed away. In fact, it splintered a little bit. A minute 47 to 8th place. There were 12 riders in that. We were 4th, which isn't too bad. Jonathan Hiver in 11th place, which is very, very good. How are we doing in the team's classification? We actually won the stage there. That's pretty good, isn't it? I'll take that. Still in 9th place. Anthony Turgis got 11th in the under 25s. No one in the mountains. Jonathan Hiver in 10th in the sprint, and in the GC 9th place on that one. So that's the end of that tour. Let's have a look. We got good work for riding at the front. Hiver 9th in the general classification. Turgis got 4th on the stage. We got 20 points and 3% manager satisfaction. So we actually impressed the boss for once. That's something a little bit rare in recent weeks, so that's good. Some points towards our next level. We've kept the boss happy, which is always a win. So that's the end of that tour, And that's the end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, don't forget to give this video the big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well if you're not already, so you don't miss an episode. And a little bell will let you know when a new episode is available. Leave your comments down below as well. Let me know what you think, what you'd like to see more of. And I look forward to bringing you another episode from Pro Cycling Manager 2019. The pro cyclist, Max Venturi, the 19-year-old neo-pro, destroying himself for the greater good of the team. Look forward to bringing you more of that in the coming days and weeks.